In a podcast land where thoughts collide, Brian and Craig will be your guide. No topic too small, no tale too tall. Tune in, laugh out, you'll have a ball. From mysteries deep to light-hearted jokes in a poker rhythm where laughter invokes. Untitled is their name, the fun untamed. Each episode a ride, this shows their claim. Untitled, Brian and Craig, get ready for a twist and a leg shake. In a quirky world where anything goes, join the ride as the madness flows.
Another week.
Yay!
I'm Brian.
I'm still Craig.
You're still Craig today.
I am today for now.
For
still
now,
Craig for now. Yeah, still Craig for now.
That should be
With
your
Craig and
Instagram
Brian.
handle. That should be your Instagram handle. Craig
Still
for
Craig
now.
for now. That's fun. I like that.
Oh wait, no, that's actually your boy band.
Craig for now.
Yeah, so you
Ooh.
spun off of your boy band, and now you're still Craig for now.
Craig for now. You know what? I think that's my sitcom.
Oh, okay. No, that's a good one. Okay, so your sitcom is still Craig for now.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
what my sitcom's about. We don't need to pitch a sitcom. That's not what we're here for.
No, it's just Craig living his life. It'll probably be
That's
close
right.
to King of Queens.
There you go.
That's what
There
I
you
think
go.
your life is just
King of Queens.
Yeah, hijinks. King of Queens.
I think it's much less hijinks than you would expect. Not
Yeah.
quite as exciting. Yeah, but that's okay. That's all right.
Oh.
So, here we are again. This is the third time. This is becoming like a habit or something.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens.
I'm excited. Well, let's do the thing that we do at the top of the show. What's the thing for this week? What happened to you this week, Brian?
Oh man, I actually have some pretty big news. After 6+ months of looking, I finally got a job.
Yay!
Got a job, or I guess as they say, a role now.
A role? It's a job.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. How do you say it? You gotta play the game if you want to. And
Okay.
and I want to win, and I had to play the game. So
Saying you got a role makes it sound like you're doing community theater, not that you're starting a career with something.
yeah, it's weird. Like the whole market is just weird. You go on LinkedIn, and it's like these are the steps. You have one end of the spectrum that's like these are the steps you need to do. Apply. Look for the hiring manager. Send them an email with this is 3 reasons why you should hire me. Send them a resume again. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Send them an email saying, hey, I sent you an email. It's like, oh my god. Yeah,
That's awful.
I mean, luckily the way I got this one is pretty standard. I applied on a website. I work in TV, so I applied on this company's website. Luckily for me, I had a strong resume after rewriting it 100 times. I think I applied for it in mid-August. They got back to me in early September. Stuff happened, and I totally forgot about them. And then they
And then they give you a job.
yeah, and I was like, all right, well, they ghosted me. And I mean, as I told you before we started recording, I applied to 269 jobs.
Yeah, it's easy enough to forget about one.
Sorry, roles. Yeah, they called me back and were like, hey, sorry, and explained why. And then I had like an hour and a half Zoom call with them. And then they're like, hey, listen, we don't know when exactly we'll get back to you. And I'm like, that's fair, because the last time they got back to me, I think in like 6 days and offered the job. I sat on it for a while, talked with my significant other, and we decided to go for it. Unfortunately, got to go to New York.
Womp womp. That's the only sad part about it, is that we're losing you from the beautiful state of Colorado. Makes me sad.
Specifically Buffalo, where I hear the rivers run with light beer and there's pizza and wings on every corner.
Buffalo sauce as far as the eye can see.
Yes, you have to go to the Buffalo Swamp, the Buffalo Sauce Swamp.
That's where I like to get my chicken wings. The swamp.
Yeah, you know, it's free range, all natural. You know, can't go wrong.
That's how it's done. Well, that's pretty cool, man. Congratulations. Good to probably be back amongst the gainfully employed, or at least well on the way.
Yeah, it'll be good. Of course, you know, with moving across the country comes with all the planning and all that stuff.
Yeah, you got to enjoy the wonderful world of logistics for a little bit, so that'll be fun.
Yay!
Yay! thing? My thing this week is almost as significant as yours.
Ooh.
I know that's a complete and total lie. It's not even remotely significant, but it is a thing that happened to me, and I started worrying about. Well, not worrying. I started thinking to myself, "Am I a psychopath?"
Wait. You, you had the thought that was like, am I a psychopath?
It was more like not a thought so much as a like, I wonder. Just kind of a passing fancy of, maybe it's the kind of thing that if I actually was a psychopath, I wouldn't worry about. So maybe I'm okay. But my wife and I on Friday night just went to a lovely Asian noodle establishment to get some dinner, and it was lovely. We had a very nice time. Enjoyed the time, just the two of us. And as we were leaving, they had a big bowl of fortune cookies, and
Okay.
so and I was like, you know what? That sounds good. I want a fortune cookie. And so I went and I grabbed a fortune cookie and I, took it out of its very, designer plastic sack. Yeah, just a regular fortune cookie, not that exciting. And I opened it up and I wanted to eat the cookie. So I opened it up and I ate the cookie and then I took the piece of paper and I didn't even read it. I just threw it away, like the fortune.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, you know what? I don't care what this piece of paper has to say. It's just by chance that it ended up in my possession. It doesn't really belong to me. I don't need this. It doesn't matter. So I just threw it away without even looking or reading it. I'd never done that before. I've always read my fortune. And I don't know if that's like bad luck or it means I've grown as a person and I realize that I've grown past the superstition, or if I'm a psychopath. I don't know. So I guess maybe I need some outside take from that because I haven't really shared this with anyone else because I was worried. I wanted it to be in a safe place. And I figured let's do it on the podcast because that seems like the safest of all places, probably.
That is the safest of all, yes.
Yeah, definitely. So am I a psychopath for not reading my fortune cookie, or is that okay?
I think you're okay. I mean, that's definitely kind of weird. I mean, that's the novelty of it. Like, you will find true love on Flag Day, or, avoid roundabouts.
You will find true love on Flag Day. I hope that's what it said, and I'm sad that I missed it, but I doubt it.
Or your child will have good news, or something like that.
I don't know. Yeah, I also don't know because I didn't read it. So there's that. So I've just been wondering to myself, like, is this a sign that I'm letting go, or that I've lost it, or or just sensibly didn't bother. I've only got so many days left in my life to live. I don't need to be using them up reading pieces of papers that were manufactured probably by child labor. I don't know.
I think what was it? Was it a book? It was some piece of media years ago that I read, or I think this is a common trope. If you knew how you were going to die, if you knew how and when you were going to die, would you live your life to the fullest, or would you live in anxiety the whole time?
I would not want to know that. No, that would, like if it was like an actual fortune cookie that had like stakes behind it. No. I don't need that. No. That sounds awful.
So you don't want to know if you'll find true love on Flag Day, but it's like you will die on October 29th, 2039.
Yeah, that sounds awful. What if it's like October 19th, 2024, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I don't need that. Like, you don't know how much time you got. So, like, I guess technically I could drop dead in 2 days. I'm hoping I don't. I feel like I'm probably going to make it, but you don't know that. But the fact that you don't know is actually a good thing.
Yeah, and I think the odds are in your favor. You appear to be a generally healthy type of person. You get out, you walk around, you probably get your solid 10,000 steps a day playing Pokemon Go.
That's true. Most days, yeah. So
yeah, so I think
I've been healthier, but I think I've got at least 2 more days left in me, so I'm feeling good about that. Fortune cookie or no?
Fortune cookie be damned.
That's how dangerous I live my life. I don't even read my fortune cookies.
I live dangerously. I don't even... Wow.
Stupid.
How dangerous you live, Craig. Wow. All right, man.
Living on the edge.
I mean, I wish I had your confidence.
Right? I have the confidence of a much younger woman, so I got that going for me.
All right. So, you know what it's time for?
I do know what it's time for. All right, time for the news. This news actually comes to us from the AP.
Ooh.
And it's sort of a sports story, but not really. And it's not really the story of a race. It's the story of letting you know that a certain race exists.
Okay.
And that race is the annual wife carrying championship.
Like the spouse carries them.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. Dateline. Newry, Maine.
Ooh.
There is an annual event there. So that's maybe not too far away from Buffalo. I don't know. That's all seems like the Northeast to me. So maybe you could go.
I'll let you know. But apparently, so we play. This is an aside. We play Pokemon Go with the guy who grew up on the East Coast, but he says Buffalo is the Great Lakes area. It's not.
It is.
It's
It
not.
is. If you looked at a map, it's really close to Cleveland, like Gary close to Cleveland.
I mean,
So
to me, it's all the East Coast.
right. Well, you're from Alaska. Like California is the East Coast. Like everything is just north and west, right? So
Yeah, technically.
yeah. So anyway, this is
Anyway.
definitely the Northeast, Newry, Maine, and there is an annual event there called the North American Wife Carrying Championship.
Okay.
What this is a 278-yard race, which is not very far.
Yeah, that's like what a football field, right?
Well, what is that? 278 yards. No, a football field's 100 yards, so it's like 3 football fields.
So 3 football fields. Okay.
Yeah, roughly.
Literally, we'll do anything to avoid using the metric system.
Exactly. Screw those people. Screw the rest of the world. Although you know what, I like the metric system for everything except for like miles, because I don't know what a kilometer is. It doesn't make sense to me. Like if someone told me there's 100 kilometers to go, I'm like, is that far? Is that close? Are we almost there? I don't need that. But like for temperature, it makes sense. Like 0 to 100, that kind of thing. I could live with it that way. But
yeah, metric and distance is weird. Anyways, sorry.
Anyhow, Maine. 278-yard race, during which contestants will splash through water, leap over logs, and trudge through mud, all while carrying their potato. That's
Potato? Craig, is your wife a potato?
There's some things that you said you'd never met my wife before. Maybe there's a reason.
I've never met your wife, Craig. I've never met your children either.
This is true. May all be an elaborate ruse that I'm putting on. I assure you it's not, but it might be. All while carrying their partner is what I meant. Like a sack of potatoes. See what my brain did there? I combined. Yeah.
Okay.
Carrying their partner like a sack of potatoes on their back.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a race. So whoever gets through first is the winner. But it gets even more complicated than this. The way it started is not politically correct. It's based off of a 19th century Finnish legend, which involves a man called Ronakane the Robber, and his gang was known to pillage villages and carry away the women. So
like a sack of potatoes on their back.
Like a sack of potatoes on their back. Yes. So that apparently is how this all got started. And I guess I did not go to the site, but I should have. Wife-carrying.org is the website. If you would like to investigate more about this, you can get explanations and whatnot. I'm just reading straight from the AP story because they did the hard news, so all I have to do is read it. But yeah, this event originally featured male competitors carrying a woman on their back, but now they had to be married. But times have moved forward, things have progressed. We've gotten more progressive as a society. So now you don't have to be married. It doesn't even have to be a woman. You just have to have someone on your back that you're carrying through the race. It's kind of interesting because you want to have probably the lightest person possible to be able to get through. It's like if your wife is a tiny little woman, that's probably an advantage. Whereas if your wife is morbidly obese, that might be a problem.
Right.
For the race, it's fine if you happen to be a larger woman, woman of larger carriage. I am not making fun of you, but it would be harder to carry you on someone's back. So anyway, the prize depends upon the quote unquote wife, because there's a couple of prizes. One which I understand, which is whoever wins gets their wife's weight in beer as one of the prizes.
Wait, their wives? Oh, so there's like 4 strategy. There's logistics.
Yes, there's logistics to this. There's angles. So like if you have a larger wife, quote unquote wife, this person you're carrying on your back, you get more prize beer at the end. You get whatever that person weighs, you get that her or his weight in beer at the end if you're the winner. Okay, in addition, go ahead. Yeah, you have questions. No, there's more, but if you have questions.
I was gonna say, what if your partner is 150 pounds and you're training specifically for that?
Right.
Like, is there like, Eye of the Tiger type, 80s montage training that people are doing?
I would hope so. I would like to have that with a montage video, of course. Just enter it into the record somewhere, like on YouTube or something to watch. I don't know that exists, but I hope it does.
Oh man, I hope so too. God, that'd be great.
Yeah, so you win their weight in beer, but you also, and this is the part I do not understand, you win 5 times the wife's weight in cash.
I
Weight
that's
in cash.
I think that's
Because
a
that's not,
numerical thing.
how do you weight in cash? Money, the way we measure money is not by how much it weighs.
Yeah.
Is this a lot of pennies? Or like, I don't know.
So what
You
I'm
win their
thinking is, so if your wife weighs 100 pounds or your spouse weighs 100 pounds, it's $500. I would say.
maybe, yeah.
I think that's like the most reasonable. I think that's the most reasonable way of doing it. I mean that's. I'm not a math guy. My degree is in words. So I would assume so. I like to think I'm a critical thinker and I can solve problems, and that would be the problem. That's how I would solve that problem.
Well, here's the issue I have. Like $100 bill weighs a lot less than a penny, or a roll of pennies. So it could be a significant stack of money if it's actually by weight, and they're using large bills. I'm guessing they're not using large bills,
No.
but
So,
there's no explanation as to where 5 times their weight in cash means.
This is the real question. This is the real question here. So hold on, I'm gonna Google this right now. How much?
Okay.
How much is 100 pounds in pennies?
Pounds
how
in
much?
pennies. No, but it's
So-
5 times. So 500 pounds of pennies.
Okay, so according to this, 100 pounds of dimes is 100. So it's 100,000 dimes to equal 100 pounds. So
And 100,000 dimes is like $10,000.
yeah,
$1,000.
it's $1,000. So
$1,000. Yeah.
So say they're measuring it in dimes. That's $5,000.
$5,000, which is I would take 5. I'm not gonna turn my nose up if somebody wants to hand me $5,000, but
Yeah.
it's not life changing. And that's dimes though. I mean, it could be pennies, in which case we're talking $50. What?
Yeah, because like pennies, so dimes weigh significantly less than pennies.
Yes, they do.
Oh, if I were to ballpark it, I'd probably say you'd be getting if your spouse weighed like 100 pounds, probably like half that. It's like 2,500.
Oh, I think it's even less than that, but I don't know. This is not how. There's a reason we don't do money. Like, if you go into a store, like, how much does that cost? Well, it costs £5. Well, I guess they do that in England, but it's different.
Oh, they do, yeah. You're going to need 5 pounds of dimes. Damn.
5 pounds of dimes to buy this item. We've got a new system that I think is terrible and we shouldn't use. But
yeah, that's an awful. That's like what do you call it? That's like post World War economy right there.
We're gonna melt it down and make armory for it.
That's just not good.
Yeah, so the wife carrying championship, is it like, I don't know who won. I don't know how many people competed. I do know that it exists. And there's a picture of a guy who is running the race, and he was dressed up like Mr. Incredible, and his wife is like Miss Incredible on his back.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and the way that he's carrying her, which apparently is how most of the people, according to the story, most of the people who are the contestants do this, is he's kind of got her like with her feet sticking out in front of him, and like she's got her back, her front to his back. Like,
I see.
Yeah, so like basically her butt is right behind his head, basically, and he's just running with her. I don't know how this is a thing, but there are a significant number of people in the photo that are watching the race, so it must be quite an event.
Sounds like oh god, what is it? Frozen Dead Guy days here.
Yes.
Silly, crazy stuff.
Yep, Netherlands. Yep. That's a weird place.
I guess it's not Netherlands anymore. It's in Estes Park.
They moved it to Estes. Well, that's not right though, because the Dead Guy's from Netherlands.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess Dead Guy Days needed to expand, so they didn't worry about it's not about the spirit of Dead Guy Days more than it is.
It's about that weird Finnish guy who decided he'd go up on a mountain to cryogenically freeze his body in like, what was it, 1989 or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. And it just became a whole festival thing because that's the kind of things we do here in Colorado. So why not?
Well, what was it? They have this one cool thing that they do. I can't remember where, but it's like the World Ski Touring Championships, where like it's basically, cowboys are on a horse and they pull people that are on skis and they do like crazy tricks and stuff. It's awesome. Like they catch rings.
Cool. I would watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember what town it is, but it's, oh man, the video looks sick, and like people like whiff it and stuff. It's so good.
You can get going
that's fun.
so fast, and you're not going downhill, but like you hit a rock or something, and
Oh yeah,
that would really hurt.
yeah. Fun
Yeah,
fact: 1 horse is equal to 7 horsepower. Figure that out.
really.
Yeah. Yeah,
That doesn't make any sense.
no, you'd think like because we measure the power of an engine in horsepower, but 1 horse is equal to 7 horsepower, which makes no sense.
Is that part of the English system? Is that an English system thing? Because
It's gotta be, yeah.
I would think it must be.
if it was in metric, it would be 1 to 1. It would make sense.
1 to 10 to 100. Yeah, it would all make sense. One
Yeah.
horse equals 1 horse because it's the metric system, of course.
Yeah, and not
Yeah.
1 pound of freedom per French fry.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know, man.
What do you base your length off of? It's based off of our king's foot. Say what now?
Excuse me. What? So his foot was 12
12
inches.
Yeah, what's an inch based off of?
I have no idea. Maybe
The
an
English
inchworm, because I would say maybe an inchworm. I have
Are
no
inchworms
idea.
actually an inch long, or is that
They're
like,
around that? Yeah, they actually
they?
are. Yeah,
Okay,
surprisingly.
hence the name. Yeah,
It's the
seems
name,
like
yeah.
if this is English system kind of thing, maybe it would be like no, that's half a foot actually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's all arbitrary. I mean, humans had to find a way to quantify things.
Of course,
I mean, was it in the biblical eras? It was cubits.
cubits. Yeah. It's the
So-
length of your from your elbow to your wrist or something. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like people have different length arms, so I don't know how that ever made sense. Like, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how you. Again, if you don't have like a standard like thing, and because if you're I mean, I get it, I understand. Like back in the day, measuring by the length of your body parts makes total sense. But
you got nothing else.
Joe, the ancient scientist, is not going to be the same size as Tammy, the ancient scientist. So
I like that the ancient scientists were named Joe and Tammy. This is lovely.
I mean, I don't know.
Makes me feel good about the past, so that's good.
I mean, Mabel and what's another biblical name? I guess Jonathan.
Mabel? I don't think Mabel's in the Bible.
No, Mabel. Let's be like Rebecca or something, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So
Maybe there is a Mabel in the Bible though. I don't think so.
I don't know. Actually, this might actually break your brain. This is not what I want to talk about. But I read a story today that there's obviously biblical scholars, and they have the oldest Bible in the world. I cannot remember what it's called, but the cool thing is so what they would do back in the day, obviously you would get your book together, but say you needed to change something, so you just add a page to it and like kind of stick it on there,
Okay.
and like write on that page or like type on that page, and in this instance it'd be like writing on that page. And apparently they found like an extra chapter to one of the books in the Bible.
Really?
And, yeah, after like 1500 years. And it was just so they used like blacklight and a backlight to put it together, which was kind of cool. So
Whoa,
it wasn't like anything new or fantastic or anything. It was
nothing
just, yeah, this is the original version of whatever the book that it was.
Huh. So this is like the ancient version of Post-it notes, and they just found an extra Post-it note on there, and they're like, well, how do we read this?
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Also,
that's cool.
as an aside, there is a committee that decides which stories of the Bible, which stories of Jesus are canonical and, make sense cohesively.
There was it was like what is it? The something of Nicene or something. There was like a
Yes.
whole thing that they did a long time ago where they like had a big convention basically to decide what the Bible was.
Right. And so, but there's still like a committee that does that in the Catholic Church where they have all the documents and stuff. And apparently there are the non-canonical adventures of Jesus Christ. And let me tell you, some of the stories are insane and insanely cool.
It sounds like something that's going to be coming to Disney Plus.
Right?
Non-canonical Adventures of Jesus.
Coming this fall to Disney Plus. The non-canonical adventures of Jesus Christ. Watch as the Lord and Savior, the Son of God, battles
What, a T-Rex? I don't know. What?
Babylonian space wizards from out of time.
Oh, please make that. Please, Disney Plus. I don't ask for much. I subscribe every month. Please make that. I will watch.
I mean, but that, oddly enough, is he fought Babylonian space wizards from out of time.
Babylonian.
Yeah, I was like, what? And there was another one where it's just stuff like that, like, stories of daring do, but cranked up to 11 because he's a
Sure.
son of God.
Right.
I don't know how I don't know how Jesus fighting, a Babylonian space wizard would, make you a better person, but it sounds cool.
I feel like it might. I mean, I'm willing to give it a shot. It might make me a better person.
I
Couldn't
mean,
hurt.
listen, how many Babylonian space wizards have you had to fight?
I mean, like, every Thursday. I mean, it's just the worst. So.
Oh man, sucks. Sorry,
Yeah,
dude.
like my life is nothing but Babylonian space wizards out of time. It's rough. So maybe I could get Jesus to help me out with this. It'd be great.
Maybe. Anyways, yeah, sorry. That just connected in my brain, and I had to tell you that because it's silly and great.
It was like an appetizer to breaking my brain. I love it.
It was, yes. You're like,
Yeah.
huh.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So today for the brain breaker,
Yes.
I don't know how familiar you are with a lot of Japanese media. There's a very well-known director. His name is Hayao Miyazaki. You've probably heard of him. He did Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro, and most recently The Boy and the Heron.
Wait, My Neighbor Who? Isn't it My Neighbor Craig? Come on.
Sorry, that's right. It's My Neighbor Craig. Sorry.
There you go. Jeez.
My Neighbor Craig. And there's another. He's not a director, but he's a comic book artist, a mangaka, and his name is Junji Ito. And Junji Ito is known for drawing and coming up with horrifying stories. Like, for example, one of them is a family that lives above like a ramen shop, and all the grease is getting in everywhere, and so basically the kids become grease children, like they become balls of grease. And there's like these panels where one of the person like squishes his face, and all this grease goes on like to another person's face, and they're like screaming and horrified.
The face. You need to see. If you could see my face right now, it would be that of a disturbed human. That's okay. I mean, I just need a second. Just needed a second. You're doing a good job with the brain breaking. This sounds good, but like grease children was not something I was prepared for. So okay. Okay, I'm ready. Oh, good.
Junji Ito also is very well known for a series he did called Uzumaki, which translates to spiral. And it's basically all these like crazy spiral things happening. So one of them is like a vortex forms in this girl's head, like in her forehead, and there's a panel where like you see the vortex, and like her eye is like exposed, and it just gets sucked into this vortex, and then eventually the woman gets sucked into the vortex and like disappears. Yeah, and then another time there's like just this
wait. So she has a forehead black hole and is swallowed by it?
Yeah, and then it just swallows her body like completely until there's nothing left, and it just
okay.
Yeah.
You've cranked up the brain breaking, so I'm appreciating this. But wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like the more tame thing that happens.
Okay.
So it gets even more like awful as it goes on. I mean, it takes a while to explain, but I won't get into it. But it's very well known, very terrifying. A lot of horror. But so you'd think that the guy who writes these terrible, awful, amazing, macabre horror stories,
a little off, I guess,
would be disturbed or like moody or like hate the world.
Right.
Wrong. Junji Ito loves cats and dresses up as a cat every Halloween, and like talks about how cute other people have drawn cats. Like, he's this super wholesome guy, and he's like, oh man, I just love cats. I'm so happy about life. Everything is great.
Wow. Not where I was expecting this to go.
Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, what? He even drew so his family one time when they adopted 2 cats, and he drew this little manga about them, and it's super cute, and he's not sure if his cats like him or not, and it's just really funny. But no, this is the guy that thinks of forehead vortices, eating people. And grease children.
Yeah. And I have a theory on this actually. It's like he gets out all the poison in his writing, and then like there's no more vileness in his soul because he's gotten it all off onto paper, and so like he could be nothing but like a pure pure light, in
Pure
his soul or
wholesome
whatever.
being.
Because because he's expunged all the nonsense and the evil. Really, he gets it out of himself. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. That's not what I would have expected based on some of the stories you're saying, and
Yeah.
then you following it up by saying that's some of the tamer stuff. So
It
yikes.
really is some of the tamer stuff. So the guy who makes these amazing movies, like films like Spirited Away, which is about like love and acceptance and the boy and the heron, and like feel good movies, My Neighbor Craig, feel good films, is like, I hate life. I just want to smoke myself until I die. God, everybody sucks.
Because he's gotten all the good out of him, and all that's left is all of the waste material that's left over.
Waste material.
Yeah, that's what's left in his soul is the ick. So I think the lesson we've learned here is that you've got to get the ick out. So if you've got something evil in your soul, get it out.
Yeah. If so,
Yeah.
so yeah. Anyways, that was what I wanted to tell you because it's one of the more funnier things.
That's great. Yeah.
And also the animated adaptation of Uzumaki is airing right now on Adult Swim or Max, I guess is what it's got folded into. Very good, by the way.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. Junji Ito also did another comic book series called Gyo, and it's about sharks and fish and stuff taking over the world, taking over the land with little robotic creatures, like little robotic legs.
Wait, the shark build robots?
So the shark is sitting on like a platform with like little robotic legs. It has little robot legs.
Okay.
And it's like breaking into houses and like eating people and stuff.
This reminds me, you might not be old enough for this, but do you remember the SNL Land Shark skit?
I do remember the SNL Land Shark skit.
This is what I'm visioning right here. It's just Land Shark. Yeah.
No, I'll have to send you some like panels just of the stuff. And
I need to see visually. Yes.
Just so you can know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was it. And I'm trying to keep it horror themed because it's October.
Right. It's still spooky month.
Still spooky month. Probably the closer we get to the election day, it'll be a political episode, and boy howdy will that be fun.
That should be interesting.
So much fun.
Maybe less fun for our right-leaning listeners, but yeah.
Yes. Well,
if we have any of those.
Who knows? And I mean, not that we're saying that your viewpoint is wrong, and just saying like the person that has been chosen to represent your viewpoint
is wrong. Yeah.
Could have been, is wrong.
You could have done better. You could have done better is all I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, anyway. Who did you have? They had Donald Trump.
I don't know.
They had Ron DeSantis, and they had Vivek Ramaswamy, I think, were the three big ones.
That's true. I
mean,
yeah, I know.
I weren't any strong.
Let's not go there. At least not yet. Yeah.
Not until the political episode.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hey, we've got something for the future then.
Yes.
Great.
So, Craig, we have a very wide range of elements to choose.
I am ready. Okay. I'm ready to go. Yeah. Okay.
You started off last week, so
if you're ready to go, we can alternate. That's fine. If you're ready, you rock. You rock and or roll, sir.
Okay. So I got one. It's a family moves into town in Maine.
Okay. Of course.
Kind of drifted in, all these stories, like these people are like, they're weird. No one's ever seen them. They homeschool their kids. They moved into that house in the corner up the hill, that kind of thing, right?
Uh-huh.
No one really knows what's going on. And so they like make all these crazy things, around the water cooler and stuff because, small enough town, people talk, that sort of thing. Turns out it's the reincarnation of Jesus Christ, and his wife is Mary Magdalene. Okay. And their big thing, and when they basically find out more about them and how wholesome they are, is at the wife carrying championship.
This is when they make their entrance into society.
Yes. And so you find out that Jesus hasn't been, helping or seeing anybody because he's been training for this. Because he
wants to win.
Because he wants to win.
How heavy is Mary Magdalene? How much money are we talking here?
She weighs exactly 2,300 cubits.
Oh. Perfect. I love it. Stupid.
So, it's so dumb. It's a comedy coming to the Hallmark Channel.
That's great. Oh, that's fantastic. All right. And
Definitely a comedy. Definitely a comedy.
does it have a title? I mean, canonically, this
The
show
con-
is untitled, so it's okay if you don't.
You
Like,
know, I could say it should be the non-canonical adventures of Jesus Christ in Maine.
oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Are we good? Are we gonna have any space Babylonian wizards or whatever the thing was that we were worried about earlier?
Oh,
Is that
no,
gonna?
I
Can
don't
we work?
think.
Oh, that makes me
Well,
sad.
we could work that in. We could work that in. He was training for the wife or the partner carrying championship
Yeah, yeah.
because he knew that Babylonian space wizards from out of time were coming specifically to Maine, and that's why he had to train. Boom.
Yeah, so he's ready. Yeah, but I love it. I love it. Babylonian space wizards from out of time is such a
Yeah.
wonderful sentence, or like just
It's
it's so good.
and I
It's
mean,
so good.
I haven't read that actual story because good luck breaking into the Vatican.
Right.
But from what the report said, and I read this like years ago, it was a pretty he said, quote, "It was a pretty good time." And I don't think anyone really says that about the Bible because it's really like a lot of suffering and
Oh, it's a pretty good
like,
time.
parables. So,
This is like a Bible light. This is like
yeah,
yeah, yeah. It's tastes great and it's less filling.
there you go. Light the light Bible.
Yeah, Bible light. So
Yeah.
okay, okay. I like that. That's very good. I don't have a title for you, but that's okay because we are untitled, as
Yes.
it were. Okay. Mine is very much different. It is not a comedy. It is a character study in what creates a. I'm going to use the word mass murderer here, or maybe a serial killer. Maybe that's the better way to
Okay.
go. That's the better way to go. So we start out. I know that the Grease children were from Japan, but we're going to move it over to mainland China.
Okay.
And we're going to start out with a small child named Xi, Xi. Xi.
Okay.
Now, since I don't know if the name Xi is a man or a woman's name, because I'm not super familiar with Chinese culture, we're going to just make this child be non-binary, because that way we can be progressive. And the only reason we're being progressive is because we're ignorant. But it works. It works for us this way. So we have a
The
non-binary child.
opposite. That is the opposite of the way it usually is.
Right? I know. We're being inclusive because we're stupid. That's what we're doing here.
Okay.
I know. Yeah. Okay. So our young non-binary they/them named Ji is living above. Was it a ramen restaurant? I don't know what it'd be in China. Something very greasy, and he's noticing that his brothers and sisters are starting to turn. Starting to spoil a bit. So he decides he's gonna try to escape. So he ends up living on the street, and suddenly there's a. I guess the only word you could really use for it is an invasion. And so this is just a flashback scene to like a long time ago when Ji was just a small child, and they were living on the streets in their small Chinese town. And suddenly a group of Finnish men come running in, and they run off with Ji and also many other women who have names that are probably Chinese names that are women names, but they also take Ji and they run off to do God knows what. We don't really get to see what happens. We just see him being carried off on a Finnish man's back.
Okay.
Okay, so that's our cutscene to open the movie, and then we see a thing that says 30 years later.
Ooh.
Right? Xi is now living in the United States. We don't get the full backstory about how they were able to get from their small Chinese town to the point where they were being carried off by Finnish pillagers on bareback to the United States, but they're living in Boston for some reason now, and they are why not?
Okay.
Why not? They're in Boston now, and Xi has somehow entered into the restaurant business,
Okay.
and Xi has a very important specialty at the restaurant that he's working, or he or she, we'll say
They're
they,
working at.
that they are working at. What Xi is responsible for is creating the fortune cookie.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so suddenly there are a lot of large Finnish type people. I don't know if there's a huge Finnish population in Boston, but we're going to say there is. And
Hey,
Finnish,
they got a lot of Irish, so I'd assume they'd have Finnish.
yeah, they probably have Finnish people there too. Why not? Large burly Finnish men are starting to die at an unprecedented rate.
Ooh.
Yeah, where it's unexpected. It's strange. So guys named like is Sven. It seems like that's what a Finnish dude would be named. I don't know. Maybe not.
Something Scandinavian.
Something Scandinavian. Right. All these guys, blonde, big, large, burly, blonde dudes, just are disappearing off the face of Boston, and no one knows why. But Xi knows why,
Oh.
because Xi has become a mass murderer. But the way that they kill is they put in the fortune cookie a brutal death,
Ooh.
and yeah, right. And then they hand it when a customer comes in the restaurant that looks Finnish. It's in a
Ooh.
Finnish neighborhood, so it happens quite often. The big Finnish neighborhoods of Boston.
Yes, the big
Yeah,
one.
they're very popular up there. I've heard. G will include the fortune cookie and be like, "Hey, this one's for you. This one's special because G has created all these brutal ways to die."
Yeah.
Yeah, and they give it to the Finnish people, and the Finnish person will read it and be like, you will be brutally killed by beheading or just something awful, something just terrible, and they're like, well, that's super weird. Then they go home, but G follows them.
Oh no.
Yeah. However, the death was supposed to be happening. That's how G is murdered because, of course, getting revenge for being carried off when they were a small child.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, and I even have a title for it.
Ooh, what's the title?
Murder G wrote.
Damn it, that's good.
Thank
Oh,
you.
that's so good.
Thank you. It's so stupid.
So that story reminds me of that old H.P. Lovecraft joint where like that whole family is like, well, no one lives in our family lives past the age of 30, and we think it's because this wizard cursed us, and really it's just the wizard breaking into their house and stabbing them,
killing people. Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that's super good. Murder.
Oh, good. Murder G wrote. So yeah, so there you are.
I think that one wins the pitch war today.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was really proud of that one. So
that's a good one. Well, I guess that's it for this week.
We've come to the end of yet another show.
Yes. So until then, guys, make sure you read the back of that Q-tip box.
Yeah, always read the back of the Q-tip box.
Untitled with Brian and Craig is produced and edited by me, Brian Dunnigan. It is also hosted by me, Brian Dunnigan, as well as Craig Dodge. Opening and ending themes are created by AI, so nobody has license to those.